I want to talk about wanting people to heal, to inspire growth in people, at the same time, not particularly liking people. So I'm often misunderstood, very underestimated. I share my spiritual side sometimes. Sometimes I just keep it to myself. So if someone sees my journey long enough, they'll be aware of certain things. I'm going to share a few signs I've got soon in a minute. Um, I already know a lot. I know a lot about people. I know a lot about my journey. Effectively, consider it prophecy. I often say I see through most people quite quickly, but the reality is I see through everybody. I can't think of one person who I've never um, seen through quite quickly, like real quick. So it's hard for people to hide things from me. I'm already aware of their character. We all have gifts, that's one of mine. So the real problem I have is it's very rare, especially in my lifetime, especially with everybody I've met. Of course, we meet a lot of people through life, don't we? Um, I just find most people disappointments. And that's the consensus because I do it based on the amount of people I've met and considering how many people have genuinely impressed me, especially over a long period. And most, if not all, the most, there's a couple of special people. Most people disappointing. When you actually think of people, now, I know I can seem arrogant with this. Of course, I have an arrogant side. Of course, when you're confident, it can be perceived as arrogance, but also there can be a level of arrogance. And I own that, I do have that. I have many facets to my personality. Also have a lot of humility, though, which reins that in. But yeah, I could be incredibly arrogant if I chose to be. Um, one of the, see, before people get defensive, if you consider your friend groups and people you associate, like at work, colleagues, there's one thing that is it's common amongst most groups, if not all. And at first, people get defensive. Think no, it's like yes. People have a natural attraction to gossip. They get involved in other people's lives, but often in a negative way. That annoys me. I don't like it. You can have a conversation about people and just, you can have it light sometimes, but I think when a lot of people obsess about it. You find yourself people go into multiple categories. And it really depends on the vibration they're at and the sort of lifestyle they're looking to live. A lot of people are looking to overly impress people, so they go to gutter, what I call gutter talk. So they'll literally depends on the work scenarios, but I don't think it really matters where you work. I think you get these people everywhere. You get people who have no boundaries, so they talk about their personal life to the point where they talk about the intimate moments with their partners or whoever they're with, and I just think it's quite deplorable. In all honesty, I don't find that entertaining at all. So then people would consider you a prude, and it's like not really. It's just disrespectful, I think, to the party that you're with. But I just think where's the entertainment in it? I don't get it. It doesn't make me. There's more interesting things and light-hearted things, deep introspective things. There's so many topics you can talk about, but most people are very basic, and that's why I get fed up with people. So people are either quite grotesque, with no principles, no self-control, no respect, and they also tend to gossip like a soap opera. So your name is on the tongue of many people, and also on the other side of that, and I'll consider this with most people I've known throughout my life, even people who perceive themselves confident, the two-faced. Those that perceive themselves confident are often two-faced. I'm a very blunt person. I'll say it to people's faces. I don't give a shit, because I'm not a fake person, and that's the thing with me. If I like you, I like you. If I don't, I don't. And if someone asks me directly, I'll say it to them, and I can't be fake for the life of me. So if I don't like someone, I will do everything I can to avoid being around them. It's like better for both parties, And if I'm challenged on whether I like someone, I'll say it to them, no, I don't like you. And if they ask why, I'll say, well, okay, I'll tell you, you're freaking arrogant, you're condescending, you're disrespectful, you got no morals, you're a suck up, whatever the hell the reason is. I'll tell you straight to your face. Couldn't give a shit how you react. But I'd rather not get to that point, so I try to ignore people if I don't like them because my standards are high. When I meet people who have a bit of ambition about them, they have a lot of self-respect and they're supportive. I appreciate that, and I'll try and those sort of people. I'll lift, I'll promote, I'll talk about. So that's where my standards are. It's really hard to find people like that. Because the other side is that some people are just incredibly clingy. They get obsessive. I'm someone that's very independent. So I don't want someone that consumes all my time and energy all the time. So there's a balance to be had. Um, and this is where like my problem is, I'm a social butterfly. Every like, little jobs I've worked at, I've had supervisors, team leaders, managers, whatever. They always say you're a social butterfly. You get on with anyone, and you can talk all day, and people gravitate to you. And when it's nice people, it's a nice thing to have. I'm also very, very firm with boundaries, and I can close myself off. It's a distance from people. Um, so, just to give an example, when I go into workplaces for new workplaces, I tend to, like I said, the arrogant side. That's the first part that I will show is the arrogant side. When any job I start, for the most part, I start off observing everybody. That's what I'm like. So I will, like for instance, if I'm sitting there, you're the new person, and let's say it's a big workforce. For the most part, I'll probably sit there on a chair and I'll have my arms crossed. That's a defensive position. If you talk body language, that's defensive. Again, I watch everything. I know people's mannerisms. I can tell by the way they speak, their communication. I look at the way they every piece of their body language. I just pick up immediately. So straight away, I'm just picking up every single thing they're doing. And that's what I do. So I sit there like this, and then no one approaches me. Don't bother me. Don't even try to assume shit. You don't know who I am, and I'm just watching. And then if I perceive someone to be kind or nice, then then you'll see the light heart side of me, and I'll have a laugh. We can get on. I can be vulnerable, so I can start sharing more like life story, and I'm interested in listening to them. But but unfortunately though, in a lot of people in life, they can't be trusted. Most people betray you inevitably. Um, so you harden, but it's not give up on life entirely, of course. But it's just so I find myself conflicted sometimes because, like my mum always says that to me is that you don't like anybody. That's what she always says. You hate people. You don't like people. Unsociable. And I'm like, yeah, because people drive me nuts. But then I also have a laugh with the right people, and I can be lighthearted. But yeah, I don't hide away from any of that. It's just people are flawed. All of us at one time or another are flawed. The question really is, do you want to heal or continue down the path of really showing no respect for yourself and by extension, don't respect others? That's really where the problem is. So my dislike of people isn't me just like not respecting, it's understanding where they are on their journey. So if you talk about vibrations, you've got low vibration, gutter talk, no respect for your partners, no respect for yourself, constant gossip. That's low vibrational. That's the majority of people in this world, sadly enough. That's where they're at. Then there's like a level where you're starting to heal, you're growing, you've got a bit of ambition to yourself, you're starting to consider boundaries, you're looking at the people in your life, are they really serving you anymore? So it's starting to have taking a bit of responsibility and accountability for your life and those around you. See, those sort of people you're looking, thinking, okay, you've got something about you. You're starting to see the world as you start to see clearer. You want something better for yourself. That's a great place to start. And then, of course, the higher vibrational is you've literally cleared all that out, and now you're more focused on just quality rather than quantity. And of course, I consider it like a pyramid. I've said so many times, you got low vibrational is like at the bottom, and then you've got a pyramid at the top. It's lonely at the top. The closer you get to the top, the harder it gets, because it's incredibly lonely. So it's like it's almost like a contradiction to itself, isn't it? You can get incredibly lonely, and you crave intimacy or conversations or just communication with people, but just not any people. So yeah, so that's where I'm at really. It's like I want to inspire people to heal and grow, but at the same time, I want my space. Yeah, so I can get on with anybody though. That's the thing. It's like if I know someone wants to heal them, you know what I mean? I think that's what it comes down to. It's like if someone wants to heal, they want to overcome challenges, then I'm prepared to help. You know, so but anyone that's disrespected me in my life, though, I won't help. They're on their own. You don't get many chances with me. Even if someone come to me and said, you know what, I'm so sorry for everything I've done. I just want to go. The road's crossed now. I haven't got time for it. I just don't have time, because what will happen is you start becoming successful, it makes you more desirable. Now, all of a sudden, now they see your worth. So then they put on the waterworks or the pity party. And now all of a sudden they want you to invest in them. It's like, you never invested in me, though. That's the thing. You had every chance and you chose to try to keep me small to make yourself feel big. And now you want to slow me down to try to help heal you. It's your journey to heal. No one helped me heal. I healed. It's just, I know I have the ability to help people heal, overcome their challenges. I think see from a different perspective to help elevate them. But at the same time, I did that for myself so other people can do it for themselves. It's just maybe a longer process. But, yeah, so like I say, sometimes I'm misunderstood because I am very complicated. and what you may perceive in one instance may not be the overall package. But yeah, when I like someone, or like for instance, if I'm with my daughter, she knows. For instance, she knows this is the relationship with my daughter. My daughter knows I'm stubborn as hell, so it's hard to get me to do anything if I don't want to. So, for instance, then again, I'm quite transparent. I'm not a night evening sort of person going out. Once it starts getting dark, you ain't getting me nowhere. That's me settling in now, like a hobbit. That's what I'm like. It's really hard to get me to budge. So, for instance, let's say she sleeps in. So when she's with me on a holiday, she likes to get up late. I like to get up early. So my attitude is like, we've got all day. It's nice early morning, so it's all fresh. If you want to do something, let's do something. We can go and do. But you wake up at 1 p.m. and then come to me, and because she knows this, can we go? Like, can we go? Can we go out? I'm like, go out. It's like 1 o'clock now. What are you talking about? You've had all bloody morning. I ain't going nowhere. Sometimes I might do it. I might, and this is how I am a pain in the ass like that. And she knows this. And it's just how I am. I don't feel bad about it. It's just that's what I'm like. It's like I'm a morning person. If you want to do something, I won't be doing anything in the evening. It's very tough after lunch. She'll attest to that. It's a very tough to push me after lunch. But I will extend it slightly if I think, you know what, she doesn't. She needs that. Okay. But I wouldn't do that just for anyone for the most part. It's like you either catch me in the morning or you won't get me doing it much. But she gets that silly side as well. Like, so for instance, someone could have a negative. This is the thing: a stranger or someone that barely knows you could have an opinion of me, could have opinion of me, perhaps. And maybe on some levels it's true, but she would instinctively go, "That's not you at all." Okay, yeah, let people think what they want. Because she knows I'm ridiculously silly and goofy. I have like the humor and the level of ridiculousness as like Mr. Bean and Will Ferrell. I can be funny. I can be really stupid. I don't really care about perceptions and things, but I have to be in the mood. You have to be around the right people that bring that out of you. And with my daughter, that's what she gets. So she gets someone that's stubborn as a mule, highly intelligent, ambitious, and I managed to guide her in the right way. But she also gets a very silly, goofy person as a father as well. So she gets so many different aspects. And, I like who I am, just often misunderstood. But yeah, here's a contradiction, isn't it? The fact that, you just really want to help the planet, you really want to help people heal, but you don't really like people. So I say, I just get fed up with people genuinely, even if there's someone I like, even if you feel romantically towards someone, I'm all or nothing. So like, I think when you fall in love, I fall in love hard, and it can come across quite strong. But then once I fall out, like, or someone disrespects me or something, it's like it fades quite quick. It can go just as quick as it started, and then I just lose absolute interest. Because I can't get past the disrespect will just sit there in my mind. So even if you think positive of someone, like you think about their character or their personality, and you just think, oh, it could have worked out, and you start romanticizing a little bit, another side will just switch immediately and just say no, no. Um, so yeah, what I want to do based on all of that information, I just want to share a couple of little snippets. Really, if you got this far, Um, these are videos, same sort of person really, who's got my personality down to a T. I've got signs of success coming, but I'm like, we'll believe it when we see it at this point. I mean, I do, but I did tarot cards recently myself, and I just said, are the videos I'm getting on TikTok accurate? Are they for me? And it was like, absolutely yes. And I had other signs. I've done like a whole load of them. I asked about 8 questions, and I've left them on my phone. They're not for me to share with people, but it was just okay. Start taking notice of the signs. I get a lot of repeated numbers on the time, and then other things like the likes and things, and then I see it plastered around other people's videos, and I'm like, that, and others I'm seeing. So that's quite interesting. I'm not going to go through the videos. I've just liked some, not all. If if we just go by the tags, your energy is attracting spiritual favor, chosen ones, um, inner peace, your boss, lesson of a lifetime. You blind people of how authentic you are. First megastar to come out of your city. I mean, I don't ask for none of this. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, this is the signs you're getting. Literally got the magic touch, starseed, you're being activated, Cinderella story, yeah, influx of new fans, whatever. Let's forget all that crap, because I don't care. This was interesting, though. What are people's first impressions of you? There was a couple of others, but I'm not sure if I liked them all.
Let's do a tarot reading. Today is going to be, what assumptions have people made about you? Spirit, what assumptions have people made about my collective, but like obviously never told them to their face? Let's get into it. I feel like people feel like you're on a new level, or you're always leveling up, or you're somehow like gaining this higher status in society, and they just see you. I feel like people just like put you on a pedestal, and they would never like tell you this to your face. This is like the assumption that they make about you, is just that like you're just on a new level, you're on a higher level than them, or like you have some sort of knowledge that the average person just doesn't have. Like I feel like this is an assumption people have about you, but like would never tell you to your face. What assumptions have people made about my collective? I feel like people assume that you isolate, or like you don't hang around a lot of people, or you aren't like somebody that seems very inviting, like to come up and like talk to. I feel like people assume that you're just like closed off, and you just like mind your business and you protect.
I think that's true. I think people will see that, and I can be like that. But I can actually talk for Britain. I can just talk all day. And if I think someone's kind, I'll give them so much time. So like, just randomly in the street, if someone's just talking to, well, if someone's just nice and you pick up on that energy, I can just talk. But yeah, when I want to be closed off, I can look like a face of thunder, and it's a way, it's perceptions. What side of me do I want people to see? For the most part, I do keep a stoic look. I'm very strong with boundaries.
Protect your energy, and I feel like strangers, or just like people who don't know you, assume that like you don't want to talk, or like you don't want small talk or whatever. I also feel like people assume that it just seems like you have it all together, and I feel like people assume that because you're in this like high vibe or like high energy, and maybe you're just very attractive, and maybe you just seem very put together, people just assume that like things come easy to you, or like you don't have any issues in your life, or like you don't have any worries, you don't have a care in the world. I feel like,
Yeah, I mean, look, that's up to people if they think that. I'm confident because I know my future. I'm confident because I know who I am. I've got no doubt of what will come to me because I've worked hard to get there. It does make it easier in the hardship. It doesn't make the hardship easy, but it makes it easier having a focused plan. So like for instance, money's incredibly tight for me right now. I'm at a crossroads, and it's really, in all honesty, without swearing, it's like really annoying the shit out of me. I had to swear a little, because I don't know what I should be doing. Everything I do doesn't work. That's not from a place of self-pity. It's an observation. Like I said, I'm very analytical. So sometimes things go against what you would naturally see. So like my spiritual side just knows. But if you took a spiritual side away from things and you had an analytical view based on results, you'd say it's not working. To produce have 6 books, by extension, 6 audio books, time and effort towards episodes of a podcast, thousands of videos, and I barely get over 50 views on my videos, and I've been doing them for years. So when you look at it in terms of career progression and finances, people do similar to, like, if someone does video content in the way I do video content, some other people can make a living off that, pay their bills. They can survive, they can cope, they can actually thrive. I can't get anything from my videos, so it doesn't make me any money. I do it because I just want to help people reflect upon their life and heal. And for me, I've said about it before, like I see myself as a passive healer now, rather than be hands-on with people all the time. I'd rather be a passive healer where I provide knowledge, perspective, and then people have to heal themselves. I've given my time through the content. You won't always get a personal audience with me because time is precious, and it's really important to protect our energy. And that's what I'm talking about, sort of passive healing side. But what I do, I should be really financially successful, and I'm not. I'm literally in poverty. So when someone thinks it comes easy to create for me because it's what I'm good at. Making money is something I'm not good at, and it's an absolute what it annoys the shit out of me. My life is heavy. It's hard. I have to often balance bills every month and figure out which ones to miss effectively. And sometimes I do indulge where I shouldn't. So I might treat myself to sort of a video game or maybe a takeaway, things that I can't really afford, but it's for my own sanity, So I treat myself sometimes knowing full well there's a repercussion. But life gets hard, and it's up to all of us to make decisions in our life. Like, do you want, you're gonna suffer either way. So you might as well just have something nice along the way too, because something's getting missed. You might as well just miss too. That's how I am sometimes, because I am petulant as well. I'm not perfect. But yeah, so you say that, and then I've got my books. One would assume even one book should be selling comfortably, and I can't sell any of them, and it doesn't make sense to me at all. It doesn't, because I read, of course, when I record an audio book, I'm reading the book, and I'm like, that's going to be helpful to so many people. And then I read the next chapter, and I'm like, God damn, that's great. And that's not about boosting myself. I know how good it is in terms of healing, because it's helping me. Because sometimes I feel down when I'm reading it, and I'm like, oh yeah, but I guess perspective, you know. So I'm giving myself a pep talk for my own content, which is pretty nice. But again, if we're talking about things coming easy, it's easy for me to create. It's hard for me to make money. So if anyone thinks my life's easy, it's stressful as shit in another side of it. But do I doubt my future? No. Do I doubt that I'll be successful? No, I don't. I think I know I will be successful at some point in this lifetime. I get a lot of signs, even without the signs, I have an inner knowing. So that pushes me to keep going forward. But the idea that anything comes easy in every aspect of life, it doesn't. As we've established, people piss me off, in all honesty. People let me down. So there is a trust issue there, an underlining trust issue. I give people the benefit of the doubt, and I still have belief that good people exist, but it's few and far between. So life for me is incredibly lonely. So one part of me really wants a community of like-minded people who understand each other. It'd be nice to have that community of similar vibe people. But I won't sacrifice my morals and integrity to fit in with just anyone. So I won't lower myself to fit in with crowds of people that I just don't want to be friends with. So I will stand firm in it. So the idea that comes easy, I don't think being alone comes naturally easy to anyone, really, does it? I mean, I like my solitude to an extent, but I've been single for 8 years. I've been lonely for a long time. So I'm strong and confident all the time. It doesn't lower my belief in self, but it doesn't make life particularly fun at times. So yeah, I am ambitious. I am focused. I do things with integrity. I'm authentic. So I'm always honest. I have strong values. So I'd argue there's certain aspects of life that comes easy because it's natural. There's other sides of life that's hard as hell, and I think to minimize the journey by considering it easy, I think is very naive. I say that a lot. Anyone that's successful, I don't think they've had it easier. Or it takes courage and sacrifice to achieve.
People assume that, and maybe they even assume that you get things handed to you. Like, even if you don't, even if you're a very hard worker, I feel like people just assume that, like, you're just lucky and things just work out for you and you don't really have to put in a lot of work. I feel like people assume that. What else, Spirit? What else do people assume about?
What was the other one?
Let's do a tarot reading. Today is going to be, what assumptions have people made about you? Spirit, what assumptions have people made about my collective, but like obviously never told them to their face? Let's get into it.
Is this what we just watched?
I feel like people feel like you are the. Let's do a tarot reading. Today is going to be, what are people's first impression of you? What are people's first impression of my collective? Oh my gosh, the Four of Wands just came out. Immediately right off the bat, I feel like people just see you as, you have a very strong foundation, whether that's like your sense of self or like just the way that you come off. You just seem like a very stable person. You have a very strong sense of self, or you've built a life for yourself that just seems like you're very stable. Also, I feel like people see you as like marriage material. You're like the perfect partner that someone would want to spend the rest of their life with.
Sometimes I listen to these, I think, I don't know about that.
What are people's first impressions of my collective? Oh my gosh. These are, okay, first of all, these are the cutest cards to come out. The Ace of Cups just came out. So I feel like people's first impression of you is that you're very animated. I feel like you're very, they can just tell that you're very in tune with your emotions. Maybe you express yourself, maybe you talk with your hands, or maybe you're very, again, expressive, or the way that you communicate is very passionate. I just feel like people can immediately feel your energy and they get these like emotions when they're around you. I feel like they feel more connected to their emotions when they're around you. They could see you as some sort of new beginning too. Like, I feel like when people meet you, they might think like, oh, this is like the person that I'm gonna marry. Like, that's, you know, that's who it is, or whatever.
I did weirdly have, I think like a couple of years ago, or even on TikTok, someone approached me in a message. They go, I think you're the one. I thought, what the hell are you talking about? That's a weird thing. There we go. No, honestly, I think you are. And it's like, oh my God. Okay, I think I'm giving you the idea of the one. It's not going mental.
Or whatever. I feel like people see you as very balanced. When they first meet you, I feel like they can sense that I feel like they can just sense that you juggle a lot, or you have a lot of responsibilities, but you're really balanced about it. And you have your shit together, basically. And you're able to like take on a lot and still like play it cool. Oh my gosh, the Ace of Wands just came out. They see you as very creative. They see you, and this is why I said very expressive and just really passionate. I feel like they see that you're very focused on your creative passions. You take planned action towards your creative passions, or you're just a person who seems very focused and driven and self-motivated, honestly.
So what it is, I'm a long-term thinker. That's really what it comes down to overall. So I am always focused on the long-term target rather than the short-term. So that means when you have maybe things don't quite work out or life's hard, for me, that's the short-term consequence of going after your dreams. But because I'm long-term thinker, although it bothers me, it doesn't stop me. It's just part of the journey. So yeah, so when you eventually get to the top of your mountain, there'll be people that are jealous and think it's not fair. Meanwhile, they made bad decisions in their life because they were just kept looking at the short-term gains all the time, which wasn't really building to anything sustainable. There was no direction. It's complete mess. So while they keep thinking they're winning because they're comparing with you a lot, which happens all the time with me, people are always in competition when I'm only in competition with myself. So, my focus is always on the long term. So once I get to where I'm going, it'll be like maybe a bit of a shock to the system, to people who thought you wasn't going anywhere. And it's like, well, I'm just doing my thing. It's like so life is hard, but I always see everything as temporary. And I'd rather the moments where I'm trying to build success or achieve something different. If it's a struggle in the process, I'd rather that was the thing that was temporary rather than the goal, because once you get the goal, it's permanent. So yeah, so these little short-term wins other people have when it's pointless, it's like that's temporary. So investing in the wrong things when really you need to be investing in your future. What's the life you actually want, and how are you building towards that? Because if you're literally just going from moment to moment with no direction, it's like, so what are you actually building towards? It doesn't make sense. But that's not my problem. So it's like I'm off. I'm doing my own thing. So yeah, it will seem chaotic sometimes, but there's a method to the madness, I guess.
And very excited about their passions, and it makes them feel like they want to be excited about it too. Five of Pentacles just came out with the Knight of Swords. Oh my gosh. I feel like you evoke all this emotion in people, like when you first meet them or their first impression of you is like, oh my gosh, like, maybe this is my new beginning in love, or like maybe this is my person, maybe I finally met my person, and then you like totally cut them off or like burst their bubble or just like, nah, I'm all set. Like, I just feel like you leave them out in the cold and you're like very like quick about it. Like,
I cut people off who I don't think are going to provide anything of anything beneficial, because life's too short. I haven't got time. I think the problem is a lot of people are people pleasers, so they crave attention and they'll do anything to have it. They're terrified of being alone, so they have insecurities. Whereas I've been alone for a long time, so I'm not insecure in that sense. I just get a bit fed up with it. When you look at life, again, we talk about like things you want. What do you want for your life? Like for me personally, I'm quite transparent about it. Of course, we all want to be successful in career. That's a big thing. I'm already successful in my own right. If you look, in terms of the fact that I've done my books and, I continue to do them. I've done the audiobooks. In that sense, I'm successful. I just haven't received the financial, tangible things for it, which will help give me freedom in my life and maybe opportunities and who knows what doors open, of course. The other side is like first, life's complicated for everyone. I have a daughter, and she's a big part of my life, of course. We spend the holidays together. That's what we get. So, specific parts of the year, my focus is solely her. When she's not with me, it's what can I do in this period? What can I do? Like, what are we building towards? So let's make it count. So so I make sure that I focus on those aspirations. So someone to enter my life has to be worth the distraction, if you like. It has to be they can blend, like if it depending on the level, of course, or if it, like let's say it's a romantic relationship, has to be able to blend with my daughter, for instance. I'm not just going to put anyone in her life. That's of no interest to me. At the same time, I don't want someone that's chaotic and going to destabilize all my ambitions, my dreams, my goals, and how I see our life in the future. So if people don't match that, then I don't need them. I don't want them around me. Now that's in my personal life. There is a professional life. Again, if someone was to want to collaborate, there has to be a point to it, because I can do a lot myself. Effectively, we only have so much time in the day. If it's going to do something that I don't really want to do, or maybe it's beneficial to them but not really to me, it's just more like, why don't you do that? That's a good idea. I've got my own things to do. I can't just go around jumping on every opportunity that comes just because someone else wants that when I can do my own thing. I've got 3 books on the go at the moment. It's not to say I wouldn't take the opportunities, but the point is I'm selective of what I want for my life. I've already said I'm not looking for a big community. Most people are disappointing, but beyond that, it's like I don't need it. The more people you have around you, the more stressed it gets, more obligations you have, people pulling you this way and that way. I don't want to be pulled in any other way, in any way. I want to be passive help people. I want to help people from a distance. There'll be one-on-one sometimes. There'll be times when I invest personally in people's lives if I feel like they really need it, and it's I don't have to want to do it. It's not. I'm not prepared to just sacrifice myself for everybody, because I'm not draining myself like that. I'm not here for that. I'll give things at a distance. So I just want people I genuinely trust and adore. That's what I want for my own personal life. That is not a lot of people. I don't need that. I got my daughter, and then just a relationship with someone that genuinely we absolutely adore each other, and you literally understand each other and you love each other for who you are. That's all I want. And then they're my best friend. And it's like they can have whatever life they want on the side, not like in terms of cheating and shit. I'm not putting up with that. But that's disrespectful. I've got high standards. Yeah, that's where the boundary will get cut off. You do that shit, done. You want to be with someone else, go off and be with them. I'm not going to hold you back. So, I mean, some people say, well, you should show you care. And I would show I care. But as soon as you disrespect me, you just go off. I don't want to start going down a negative path here, but it's like standards here. If you think you can find better, by all means, have better. I don't care. It's like if that's where you want to be. I don't only want someone that wants to stay. I'm not going to hold. I'm not going to hold you to hold you hostage over here. But so like, I'm not the sort of person that wants a lot of friends. It's just not in me to want that. I don't. Again, I don't. I'm not someone that likes to be told to do stuff. I'm not a follower. Never have been. So someone to have friends, for instance, a lot of time you just got to keep accommodating them all the time, and that's always bothered me throughout life. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I've had so many people say you're the most stubborn person I've ever met. If you don't want to do something, you won't budge. Yeah, I don't want to. So, like, the most flexible I'll ever be is what my daughter, how I am with my daughter. Oh, there's no one else going to get me to do more than that. So yeah, even she knows that's a headache. So that's quite interesting. Now, it doesn't mean I won't meet high quality people in the future. Maybe then you'll make some friendships that you didn't realize was possible. So who knows? Because people have their own lives and it's not so intense all the time. People find me strange, I think, at times, but at the same time, it's like I'm trying to build my life. I'm trying to build the life I want, not the one everyone else wants. That's the thing, isn't it? It's like I don't care. I don't care how it looks. It's my life. What do I want for it? I know what I want. I'm actively building towards it. I'm not interested in just like copying everybody else. It's like, but what a lot of other people want is my idea of a nightmare. You want loads of people so you seem successful. So you're adored by people. You need that recognition for whatever reason, or maybe you do enjoy it, whatever. For me, a lot of the time it's a headache. It's people pulling you in different directions. There's a high expectation of you to be to be this, to be that, to be here for this and there. And it's like, I don't want none of that shit. I just want to relax. I don't need that headache. And like I say, most people betray you anyway, and they gossip all over the place, and they'll just talk down about your name all the time, just because they don't want to strive for anything. So your ambitious mind or your strive for something better becomes a threat to their illusion of happiness and success. So they try to destroy you, even if you're not there, in other people's minds, to minimize the impact you have on others, and to convince themselves that you're not what you're saying. It's like, oh, it's so pathetic, and I don't need people like that in my life. And so I've cut a lot of people off, including family. The way I see it is, if someone truly cared, they would have invested in me, and I wouldn't be struggling so much as I am. All people had to do, for instance, people that know me up to this point, all any of them had to do was buy a copy of my book and just shit. I'm not asking a copy of every book. There's 6 books. Okay, it's a lot of books, but buy a book and then just like promote it somehow. Just try and share it for me. Without me asking, because I don't ask stuff that of anyone. I'd never ask anyone to do any of that. I would never say it. But I watch and I'm aware. And I recognize how hard my life is. And I can't help but think, if people genuinely cared, they could have done that, couldn't they? And it would have helped uplift my life. And by extension, because I know sort of I can trust them and they've invested in me, I'd be loyal to them. So that's where it's really stupid, because now when I am successful and I do have wealth, and I'm doing well for myself, I have no intention of helping anybody who hasn't helped me. I don't owe them anything. They haven't invested in me. So if they feel entitled to anything I do in the future, they're very stupid and naive. I don't owe them anything. And had they invested, I would have helped change their life when I'm doing well, because I'd have felt loyal to it. So a bit stupid, isn't it? Because they were so jealous, they tried to sabotage my progress. Really, they just betrayed themselves. Stupid. But that shows people's character, and I've seen it for myself. And sadly, I don't want to go on any longer, to be honest. We've gone on like 40 minutes. I could talk about an awful lot of personal circumstances where people have not even seen your value, or they've tried to dim your light. They try to keep you small, say you can't do this, or you wouldn't be able to handle that. And it's like, don't make assumptions. I can handle a lot. I can handle a lot, and I'll do well in this, and I'll do well at that. So let's not play silly things with me, trying to keep me small just because it makes you feel good and powerful. Again, that's another thing with people. So when you actually think about people in your life, and it's worth for everybody to do this, it's just look around and think who actually adds value to your life. Who is an anchor, so they drain you, and who is support. So put people in categories. There's no middle ground. Can't be middle ground. It has to be one or the other. And if they can't fit in that, you have to decide to yourself what category you put them in. So the anchors are really the people you let go. They don't add value to your life. You are not bound to people. It doesn't matter if they did something for you 10, 20 years ago. If they're not doing anything positive now, or they're only a hindrance, then it's up to you to decide what you want for your life. Because people keep you small for their own comfort. So effectively, you've got boxes. You've got one column is anchor, one column is support. And off the top of my head, out of everyone I've known in my entire life, the support category, the people I genuinely have, is my mum, my daughter, and my nephew, David James. He's often misunderstood. He's often criticized. But he's always there when someone needs him. And he has a good heart. My daughter is the best person I know. She's so rounded, incredible. And my mum has always invested in me, always believed in me, always a moment away, always supportive. Bought every single one of my books, and she spoke about them. And yeah, she's been a huge support throughout my entire life. And they're the people I trust in this life. It's a very small group of people, isn't it? But like I said, I'm not looking for a big community. I'm looking for quality people. And unfortunately, it's fortunate that I see these because I get to see that they do exist. But everyone else, for one reason or another, they've just been disappointing. Or even worse. Yeah, some people are just downright assholes. In all honesty, it just is. And so that's where we're up to, really. There might have been pockets of people throughout life where you say they were good, but it was just short lived, or life moved forward, and it's no one to blame. You know, you leave a job, you leave a situation, you relocate, whatever it is. Not personal so much. But in terms of people truly on my journey, they're the three people. So effectively, if I become successful in this lifetime, they will be the ones that I invest in. And not really anyone else that I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe an exception in the future. I might have more compassion for specific people. I might think, you know what, I'll help you out with this, but it's up to you to then invest it in yourself. Because if you can't control yourself, let's say you was really wealthy and you gave someone, let's say you're like millionaire, and like money's not a big problem, but you take it serious. You're not frivolous. You're not stupid with it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be a millionaire. You know, we can go down a whole path here. I'm not going to go there now. But if you just waste money all the time, guess what? You haven't even. How can you have money saved and have wealth? The only reason you have wealth is because you don't keep wasting it. You're not spending more than you have. You know. So if you keep getting something and spend, you never have anything, will you? So how could you possibly be wealthy? If I was wealthy one day and I thought, you know what, for my own consciousness, I'll give this person maybe 10 grand or something. Just, you know, if just it's not that big a deal, but it's enough. But it's like, don't keep asking me for money. You know, this should help you. You can invest it. You can do a lot of things with that, and you can literally. It's up to you. If you waste it all, then you only got yourself to blame. Because literally, my success I built for. If I have success in the future, for instance, I built that from nothing. Built that from struggle. I built that from poverty, like years of poverty, years of setback, years of people not really believing in me. It's been hard. So no one's given me £10,000 to say, here. I could have put that towards advertising. Who knows what I could have done? Who knows? Not saying I'd be perfect with it. We're humans. But the point is, no one ever did that for me. So I would argue if I gave someone £10,000, they're at a better start than I had. So do something, create some magic. And if they can't, or they feel sorry for, it's like, well, they don't assume other people had it easy. Don't assume other people had it easy. It's easy to say that when someone's successful, because they did everything for them. They actually achieved something. But yeah, anyway, I don't want to go on a huge rant here. I've had a lack of sleep. Probably, hence what probably caused me to record this video. Um, don't expect people to even watch it to get this far, to be totally honest. No one watches my videos anyway, let alone long ones. I'm starting to realise that, but I like talking. I've got a lot to say. I'm sick and tired of cutting things, editing them, especially on TikTok. I have to keep cutting them, I have to do a video long enough, and then I have to sit there for God knows how long, trying to shorten it to within 10 minutes, even less. And it's like, I've just put the time and effort to put the video out. I'm not going to keep doing this because I don't get nothing for this video, let alone an edited version. So I'll probably just post this video as is because I'm getting fed up, really, in all honesty. Yeah, I think the people that want to heal, the people that will invest in themselves will see my content through to the end. So they'll hear what I've got to say. I think those that won't will never know. And that's such as life. But yeah, I share my journey to just shine a light on circumstances so other people can then self-reflect. I do recognise most people just don't have positive role models, transparent, authentic ones. People that say this is how I live, and I think sometimes it liberates other people to feel comfortable, sort of being themselves, because you get to hear how I am, and a lot of it is antisocial. A lot of it goes against the grain. A lot of it maybe isn't normal. But it's like, well, it's who I am. I love who I am, and I don't see me changing anytime soon.